Batter is out, he pitches. The pitcher come and catch. The catcher bat. The way you do play it is you would sling, because you would not throw it like a baseball. You would come sideways and it would like sail afloat. And you would try and hit it. If you tip the ball and the catcher caught it, you get 2 outs. If you swung and missed and the catcher caught it, you get 1 out. Then you have to go pitch. Okay, those were the batting rules. If you hit the half rubber and it only went in between you and the pitcher, that was 1 point. If you hit the ball and it went behind the pitcher to a designated area, that was 3 points. If you hit the ball and it went past the outer 3-point to another barrier, that was 5 points. And then we had some ridiculous area that if you hit it there, that was game. And so at times you got lucky and got the right pitch and it was game. And what's so unique about half rubber is that there were certain people and there were times that I could throw it and that half rubber would skim right along the top of the ground and not hit it, and then it would rise up to the catcher.
Like an old rise ball.
Like a rise ball. And like I said, this is where we did. Now there was another game that a lot of people did not like to play, especially if you were catching. And this particular game was called ball in motion. If the catcher missed the ball, the half rubber, and it bounced out of his hand, as long as that ball was in motion, the batter could come and swing and hit at it. And you as the catcher, you trying to get it so he don't get any points. Well, you know, a couple of people got hit. And there were some people who could not pitch, so they would catch for the other person. And, you know, so you did like that. So, but when there were teams, what it would be, you would get 2 outs, and all the other rules were the same. So, other than when you got the 2 outs, then the pitcher and catcher would come in and bat, and those 2 batters would, on their side, decide who's going to pitch and who's going to catch, and they would go back. And we would sit out there for hours, just playing in the shade. And, you know, that was one of, actually in the community, that was one of the few things we had to do that, you know, that was organized and not organized type of thing.
So you said there's some debate whether or not it's a Savannah-born game or a Charleston game?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say, well, no, half rubber was started in Charleston, and all my life, I don't know if because I'm prejudiced about Savannah, that's one of the few things I do claim about Savannah, but, you know, we started it, so. And I almost want to say, I think I heard someone even say Jacksonville, but hey, they're not even in the running, so it's Savannah.
Well, I'm fine giving it to Savannah as well.
It's Savannah.
Oh, man. So so let's say you swing, you miss at it. Mm-hmm. Do you get 3 strikes just like in baseball?
No, as long as the catcher don't catch it, hey, you hit.
Okay.
And see, there are a lot of people, and just like there were a lot of people who could not pitch, there were a lot of people who were scared to be behind the bat. So they would never get in, and the pitcher get mad because he's 9 out of 10 times he's out in the sun. So sometimes they would switch up. Well, you come pitch and I'll catch for you. Mm-hmm. And what's kind of mad is you have been there for about a half an hour trying to get this person out, and he can't catch the ball. I mean, he's swinging and the ball won't stick in his hand. And as soon as he go pitch, the very first pitch he pitched and the ball missed, and he catches it. So it's, you know, you get mad. You just have these little arguments between friends going on. But, you know, it was the fun of the time, was that it was one of the few things where you had the minimum amount of friends and could play ball. Half rubber would be the equivalent of what basketball is. Because with basketball, all you need is a ball and a hoop. Then you can just sit there and shoot all day. And half rubber, you have the whole fundamentals of baseball other than the running, and with a minimum amount of equipment, because all you need is a broomstick and a half a ball. So,
How big would you say the half rubber was?
like I say, it would probably be about a 3-inch diameter ball, and you just slice it in half. There's a seam where it fit into the mold, and that's where we would cut it, right along that seam. And every once in a while, depending on the knife that you had, sometimes you get a little hollow where you would cut it bad. That particular ball would not last very long. I mean, for whatever reason, that one seemed to get torn up quite bad. And it was something about the rubber content of the little red rubber ball, because there were other rubber balls that we could have. There were some that we had that looked like an actual baseball that we would cut in half. That didn't last very long.
Where would you guys get the rubber ball from?
It's kind of funny because on the corner of Stevens and Victory Drive, there was like a community market. They would sell rubber balls, so we'd get it there. And back in the day, in Savannah, on the corner of Victory Drive and MLK, Shabazz Fish is there. Right behind him is like a 2-story building. On the bottom floor, I don't know the nationality of this man, but his name was Ugali. And he had like a little 5 and dime store type of thing. They sold balls. On the corner of 42nd and MLK was Ray's Market. I think they sold balls. So wherever we had just certain little areas, and every once in a while, whenever we went downtown or something like that, you know, you stocked up and you know, 1 or 2 balls got picked up, but you know, that was the only way our parents could keep us out of trouble type of thing.
Do you remember how much a half rubber would cost?
Oh, that'd probably be 5-10 cents. Not the half, no, we didn't buy half rubbers.
Yeah, you bought
The
the...
ball. Now, it was kind of funny because there were some years back, there was a place, the only place that I'd heard, right off of Skidaway. Like there was a nursing home on one side, and there was a little, right there at, just before you got to the golf course, there was a little store there that used to, they actually sold half rubbers. They didn't sell the ball, they actually sold it. And that was the last place I had ever heard of anything about half rubbers in Savannah. Maybe we need to start a league again. And I think there was, at time, there was even talk of a half rubber league trying to start in Savannah at one time. But yeah, that's a good kids game. And even once we moved, because I moved from Cann Park out to Cloverdale, and even some of the parents, I had a friend of mine, father, who would come out and play with us. It's one of the few games in which adults could come out and play because there was no running. And I mean, just because you were an adult didn't mean that you were going to hit any better or worse than nobody else. So, you know, we were all pretty much at the same level. So,
Did you notice that half rubber kind of disappeared being played around the same time Sportsman Park and a lot of the other parks kind of stopped getting the attention?
no, because I played half rubber all the way until I graduated. And this, well, that was the mid-60s, so that may have been the last far end of it. So I don't know, probably that's another good possibility because the late 60s is when I received that now famous letter from Uncle Sam with that greetings on there. Where I had to go, at that time, as we said, we had to go across the pond, so. And when I came back, nobody was playing, so I guess we were the last holdout. So yeah, I guess when you really sit down and look at it, that era of uniqueness kind of fizzled out.
So
Yeah.
I noticed that one of the men who I interviewed before, Russell Patterson, went by the name of Crazy Legs, and when he played for the Clowns.
Okay.
He was also drafted into the military, and he played baseball when he went overseas. Did you play any half rubber when?
No, it was the thing about half rubber then was that nobody knew anything about it, and like when every place, there was the one place that we probably could have played if we'd have found the balls, and at that time wasn't even thinking about it, was after I left boot camp, I went to a which would be my specialty school, which was in Millington, and I was aviation electronic technician. I was in the Navy, and this is where our A school was. That probably would have been the last place because that was the largest place that I had of people from Georgia, and about probably about 3-4 weeks before I graduated, two of my friends from Savannah came, so we had a team right, we could have played right there, so. It's really funny that you asked that, didn't even think about it.